Hey guys, water test day today. So we're out here on Lake Roosevelt with a beautiful 220 Pro fish. So I'm gonna do the outside walk around, kind of show you all the goodies he's got on the outside. And then once we get out on the water, we'll take you through an interior walkthrough. This is a Raider 220 Pro fish. It's got white side paint with the silver metallic lower third stripe. Dual welded rub rails, diamond plate anchor guard. This is on the upgraded fully aluminum I-beam tough trailer. You can see that he also had us add side guides back here. You can see the windlass setup up there, so we'll show you that whenever we hop inside. Take you around the back side of it here. You can see the extended 4-position stern rails, which gives you 4 either downrigger mounts, or you can put rod holders in there, whatever you want to use them for, but that gives you 4 pads. This customer has got a tie bar kicker set up, so he went with a 20 horsepower kicker and a 250 main engine, and they are tie bar together. You can see the full rod arch up top, so that gives you 10 rod holders. We'll get a closer look at that when we get in there. And the bulkhead. So those are both a couple upgrades there. I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past. I'm sure I have, but for those of you that are watching this video for the first time, transom walk-through door. I know a lot of companies, that's an option. That is a standard. Every single one of our boats comes with a walk-through door. So whenever I get some people calling to get price quotes and whatnot, they're wanting to add that, and well, it's always going to be there, so you don't have to worry about that. Hey guys, we're out here on the water now, so let's do an interior walkthrough of this boat and check everything out that this customer picked out. Start here on the back. So here is your mechanical 250 and your 20 horsepower kicker with the tie bar setup. So you can see there's the tie bar right there. It is on some knuckles that are made for that, so it allows your engines to tilt separately. You know, some people say, well, you know, you had to trim your engines together. I've heard that in the past. That means your tie bar was incorrect. You should be able to tilt and trim your engines separately and turn them. You know, everything should be able to work independently. So that is hooked up there. Here's your extended 4-position stern rails. So it extends it from right about that cleat out to the about the center of the gunnel there. Gives you 4 pads. We do have the Scotty 1106 with the 60-inch extendable boom on there. 4 Scotty plugs underneath. So there's 2 on this side, 2 mirrored over to this side, mounted up under there. We mount them at an angle, that way water doesn't collect inside of the sockets. Especially for you saltwater guys, that is crucial. And then right there, we have the plug for his pop puller. We're just waiting on that, but I wanted to get out here, get the boat broken in, that way it's ready to go once we receive that. So we've got the welded davit right there. You can see the carpet in the gunnels there. That is the sidewall carpet from the gunnels and up. I do get lots of questions about what that means. That means that the gunnel bottoms and the side tray up to the top of the gunnel is all carpeted. Here's the second station with your kicker rigging. So you've got your kicker throttle and key switch there. Since the motors are tie barred together, this does steer both engines obviously, so if you're trolling with your main, you can steer it from back here. You just only have kicker throttle. You got a Garmin 943 slave unit back here. Storage up inside of your second station there. He did have us add a fire extinguisher, so we put that there. Here's the 10 rod arch we were talking about. You can see his Garmin radar up there on the radar arch. The white MORAD antenna on the stainless steel mount there. Got your rod trees on the side. Center mount aft deck light right there. We can do the single center or one up in each corner. Totally your call. He also had us add some cup holders. So we plugged those in the same spot on each side. This switch right here is for your aft deck light. Got the diamond plate floor upgrade as well. So you know Deltas and Pro Fishes are standard with the vinyl covered marine grade plywood and an open back drop curtain. So he had us throw in diamond plate and a bulkhead. Coming inside here, this is the 7'7" cabin, which is the standard size for the Pro Fish. So you get 40-inch bench seats. Comes with the sleeper bars that go in between them. The backs come off, sit in the center, and make a bed. You've got in-floor storage there, carpeted storage under both of your seat boxes there. Diesel heater. This is a Raider install, so there is an exterior fill out on the gunnel right next to your boat gas cap. So you can just fill it at the pump. You've got your module and your fuel gauge. Two different vents. The heater is behind that carpeted panel there. You can kind of see the vent and the fuel line up underneath right there. So when it's done by Raider, it is a 5-gallon welded aluminum tank that gets put underneath subfloor. That way it's out of sight, out of mind. It just goes down inside of your storage. He had us go with the porta potty step box. So that's an upgrade from the normal step box. It's quite a bit bigger. That way you can fit a porta potty inside of it. Another standard that I get questioned about a lot is suspension seats. You know, people say, I want to upgrade to suspension seats. All of our boats come with these i3mm bench seats. Unless once you get to the Coastal and the Sea Raider, then it goes up to the i4mm. What the 4 and the 3 is the amount of travel. So they are very nice. They recline, they've got armrests. That dial is your weight adjustment, and then you can see that orange lever on the side over there. That is your slide forward and backward. You've got your main engine throttle right there. That is for your fuel tank. However, I always plug my fuel into my screen because it has the Suzuki interface cable that tells your screens exactly how much fuel you are burning. So that is correct down to the decibel. So it's going to be quite a bit more accurate than your analog fuel gauge. RPM gauge there. However, I also use my screens for that. So that's kind of just a redundant backup. Got your trim tabs, 12-volt USB, all your switches. Here's your windlass switch. 1243 XSV up front here. Got your Garmin VHF. Hop out on the bow here. There's your windlass. There is your Garmin GPS puck. The screens and the radar, you know, most of the Garmin electronics do have their own GPS built into them. However, we put pucks on all the boats. That way kind of creates redundancy, and also they can all pull off of the same GPS source. That way ensuring things are more accurate and all working simultaneously. So the windlass here pulls the road right through it, and then there's a hole underneath of it, and it naturally just coils it down inside of this box here. You've got 2 lids, one on each side. There is a bow eye welded inside of there to tie the interior of your road off. Here's a better look up top at your radar arch, MORAD antenna. This anodized railing is absolutely gorgeous, and it will stay looking like that. It doesn't oxidize with salt water, or you know, even if you're a freshwater guy and you drive up and down the highways in the wintertime around here, you know how much salt is on the road. So what a gorgeous day. Thank you guys for joining me out here. Got a couple more things to finish up, and then I'm gonna put her back on the trailer and call the customer. So thanks for joining us. Like always, click the link, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you later.